Hey there YouTube, following in the same vein as my last video, I'm going to be doing yet another of my very favourite Transformers. Now this one's going to be something of an experiment for me. This is the first time I've done an entire combiner in one sitting. What I generally tend to do is do lead-up videos of each of the individual components and then do a big one on the combined form itself. But this one I think I can get away with doing in one sitting. It almost certainly won't be in one video, but yeah, I think I can do it. This is going to be one of the Beast Wars combiners. There were two Beast Wars combiners, one for the Maximals and one for the Predacons, Magnaboss and Tripredacus respectively. Generally speaking, I much prefer Tripredacus. I prefer Tripredacus because whereas the combined form of Magnaboss is stupendously good, the individual robots suck, following in the tradition of G1. Individual robots suck, combined form is great. Tripredacus, each of the individual robots would get away with being a standalone toy. Each of them. You could get away with selling them as standalone toys and they'd work. Which is stupendously cool for any combining Transformer, from any line, quite frankly. And I'm starting with my least favourite. Although he's my least favourite of the team, he is a stupendous little toy. This guy is Cicadon, and one of the things that I really like about him more than anything else, he's so cute. He's such a cute little thing. He's a Cicada, obviously. If you couldn't guess from his form, then you should have been able to guess from his name. He's such a cute little thing. He's a reasonable approximation of a real Cicada. He isn't. He's a little cartoonish for a Beast Wars toy. Most of the Beast Wars toys, actually, they do tend to be quite accurate in terms of their beast mode anatomy. This guy looks like a cartoon caricature of a Cicada, but that's okay. He's still a very, very, very nice beast mode, chock full of detail, like all of the early Beast Wars toys. There's a lot of organic detailing on his hide, which is very, very nice indeed. Articulation is okay. His proboscis will move, which is cool. His forelimbs will also move, and his back limbs, they're both on the same hinge, so they'll move as one. Most of his articulation comes from his wings, which are on ball joints and will move any way you want them to, and those are my favourite feature of this toy. He's got an enormous wingspan, and they're so beautiful. Very, very pretty wings. Now, these guys were not very heavily characterised up until recently. They were, in the cartoon, the Beast Wars cartoon, they were referenced more than anything else as the Tripredacus Council. They were the ruling triumvirate of the Predacons on Cybertron. They were also responsible for maintaining political relations with the Maximals. They were one half of the Transformers that were responsible for creating the Pax Cybertronia, which detailed the terms of the peace between the Maximals and the Predacons. However, as you'd expect from Predacons, the descendants of the Decepticons, these guys had a hidden agenda in that they were working secretly to foster a power base from which they and the other Predacons could rise up and take over Cybertron. Unfortunately, because they're so patient, these guys, and so slow in operating their agenda, many of the Predacon generals who served beneath them, such as Megatron and Magmatron, got tired of waiting and undertook their own attempts to undermine the maximal authority on Cybertron. Now, this chappie, they do have individual bios in the Beast Wars sourcebook. The problem is the Beast Wars sourcebook is a bit shit, really. It's very poorly researched, and one of the problems we have is that there are certain discrepancies between how they're described in the book and how they occur in the cartoon. In the cartoon, there's a suggestion from their agent on Earth, Tarantulas. Tarantulas is an agent of the Tripredacus Council in Megatron's organisation, sort of like a mole, a spy, if you like. Tarantulas suggests that he and the Tripredacus Council are not descended from the Autobots or the Decepticons at all, that they have entirely different origins. However, in the Beast Wars sourcebook, it says that this guy is rumoured to have once been a Decepticon. He is very, 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 very old. He's an ancient, a Predacon elder, if you like. Although it's never explicitly stated which Decepticon he was. He is intimately acquainted with all the engagements of the Great War, so much so that it's believed that he must have been there, he must have been present on the battlefields. He's also a master strategist, massively patient. The only problem is that he's also somewhat paranoid. He sees enemies everywhere, and this somewhat hampers his effectiveness as both a warrior and as a counsellor. It's a reasonable bio, it's okay. Right then, on to his robot mode, which I'm sure you'll agree is entirely successful. There's Cicadon in his entirely successful robot mode. Now, what you have to bear in mind with these guys is that they came as part of a pack. They are components of a combiner. And when you compare these guys as components of a combiner to the components of G1 combiners, well, there just isn't any comparison in terms of quality. These guys are superb. This is better. It's more coherent, better designed, more articulated, more proportionate than many standalone Beast Wars toys. It's quite incredible, all in all. I mean, it's unusual. It's definitely strange, but then all of the Beast Wars combiners are strange. He's quite bulky and kind of fat-looking, but it works for him. It really lends him a certain degree of coherency. I really like this bot, and the way parts of the wings form these swords, I love. I absolutely love that. He really looks like he means business, and what caps it all off more than anything are the wings. The wings just lend a certain balance to the overall composition that makes it a very, very beautiful robot mode. And as for articulation, this is one of the most articulated Transformers you'll find. He's got joints everywhere. He's absolutely gorgeous. And bearing in mind, this is, insofar as I'm concerned, the least of the Tripredacus Council.